In our first story, lawyers for British fugitive David McDermott, who is being pursued by the United Kingdom authorities for allegedly dealing in narcotics, are pushing for him to be tried in Ghana.
The team of lawyers led by Victor Kojoga Dawudu argues that the charge brought against the accused is not an offence under the extradition laws of Ghana, for which their client should be sent to the UK for trial. Raymond Akwa was in court and filed this report.
David McDermott was arrested on March 11 this year based on an extradition request issued by the British High Commission to the Foreign Affairs Ministry of Ghana for allegedly conspiring to import some 71 million euros worth of cocaine into the United Kingdom in 2013. But in a summary address to the court, lawyer Kojoga Dawudu said the entire extradition process should be abandoned because it was unlawful. He further claimed that the state in an inventory of the things seized in the fugitive's residence did not include any drug substance for which he has been brought to court. But the prosecution opposed the move, insisting McDermott needed to be extradited because he committed his crimes in the UK. Criminal charges brought against the fugitive in another suit at an Accra Circuit Court were withdrawn by the state last week without assigned reasons. It later also emerged that the suspect had been married for the past 3 years to the stepdaughter of Ghana's immediate past governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Henry Kofi Wampa. Dr. Wampa has said he never knew his son-in-law was a fugitive or that he allegedly dealt in drugs. The court has, however, adjourned the case to Tuesday, April 12, 2016.
We'll still have to stay with the court as lawyers for Gregory Afoko, the man indicted for the murder of the Upper East Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Adams Mahama, want the court to free his client, all arguing that the case against him is weak and very poor.
This follows the selection of a 7-member jury to try the case. Raymond Akwa again.
Gregory Afoko and Asabke Alangdi, who is at large, have been charged with 2 counts of conspiracy to commit crime and murder. A third accomplice, Musa Issa, was granted bail after the Attorney General had advised that there was not enough evidence to charge him. An Accra District Court on February 22, 2016, committed Afoko to stand trial at the High Court. The court said, based on the evidence presented, there was a compelling case for the accused to answer at the High Court. The trial was scheduled to start on March 23, 2016, but was postponed to April 5 due to the absence of the trial judge, Justice L.L. Mensah. At the court on Tuesday, lawyer for the accused, Israel Aka, said the facts as presented by the prosecution are not conclusive and do not establish the guilt of the accused. He asked the jury to carefully assess the facts and come to a just verdict by acquitting the accused. Mr. Aka said they will soon be made aware that the case against Mr. Afoko is built on unfounded speculations, half-hearted investigations, innuendos, unsubstantiated rumors, which the jury will reject. The court has, however, set April 19, 2016 to begin the trial in which the prosecution is threatening to call 15 witnesses.
A retired professor of political science, Professor Joseph R.A.I., wants the Ministry of Youth and Sports to be decoupled following a finding indicating that less attention really is given to the youth as compared to sports at the ministry.
These things will help address the current challenges that faces the youth in Ghana, which include the unpreparedness when it comes to education and labor market experience, which has led to high levels of unemployment. Professor Ayi made the recommendation during a launch of a policy brief on the research on decoupling the Youth and Sports Ministry.
There has been a long-standing controversy over whether or not to decouple the Youth and Sports Ministry to make it more effective and address the needs of both sectors. At a ceremony to launch a policy brief of research conducted into decoupling the 2 arms of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, a former professor of political science, Joseph I, noted the Ministry of Youth and Sports must be decoupled. In an interview with Joy News, Professor I explained that will be the only way to get issues of employment among the youth thoroughly addressed.
The government itself must have an appropriate institutional framework, by which I mean there must be a way of trying to ensure that the Ministry of Youth and sport is properly balanced. The youth and sports wings are properly balanced so that the youth segment must be able to deal with issues about the youth. Thirdly, if you want to push me to a wall, I think that the government must seriously look at the decoupling of the Ministry of Youth and Sports as it has done for the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum.
George Yosin Venus reports for Joy News.
Government has assured it is partnering with key stakeholders in the West African sub-region to deal with terrorists or their threats associated with the influx of migrants.
Interior Minister Prosper Bani, who was speaking at the launch of the National Policy on Migration, says the security of migrants is one of the key considerations of the new policy. The policy, which was launched on Tuesday, according to the minister, will also help harmonize the approach of the various state agencies to the issue of migration.
The new migration policy is to promote and protect the interest and welfare of citizens and migrants within and outside Ghana. It is also to provide an enabling environment for the national and global migration dialogue and promote a comprehensive and sustainable approach to migration management. Interior Minister Prosper Bani says the policy will also deal with the threats as well as security of migrants.
Irregular migration has become a thorny issue which various countries are grappling with now. Irregular migration poses multiple challenges to countries of origin, transit, and destination, as well as the migrants themselves. The resurgence of terrorist attacks around the world today, involving multiplicities of nations, has brought the issue of migration to the fore and raised major security concerns around the sub-region. These concerns have to be addressed at the national and international levels. And I'm happy to state that the government of President Mahama is engaged with all partners to minimize the risk of any form of terrorist attack on Ghanaians and other nationals living in Ghana.
As part of the implementation process, the Ghana National Commission on Migration will be established to drive the new policy, which will also help promote the benefits and minimize the cost of internal and international migration. Senior lecturer at the Center for Migration Studies, Professor Mariama Awembela, says the policy will also explore positives that comes with migration, as well as regulate the activities of recruitment agencies.
It will address in the sense that currently we have a few policies. We have the Immigration Act that is, regulating people who come in and out. I said we have the Labour Act and so on, but none in a holistic way. So this one will help us, take stock of our migration, what is currently happening, and what are we going to put in place, to make sure that we are benefiting from those who are going out as well as those who are coming in, as well as those who are moving within Africa. Other countries have used migration to develop. We agree that migration has a lot of negativity, so the policy framework also looks at that. For instance, ensuring that people have access to information. We are beginning to have a lot of recruitment agencies, for instance, in Ghana. Nobody's really regulating them that well, or the regulation is not working. I think Ministry of Labour is supposed to do that, and Registrar Generals. It's not working that well. So this can provide.
Of them springing out
yes, and this can provide a framework, for instance, to regulate the recruitment agencies, so that we can use them to, provide that policy, that information for those going out, and also use them to monitor them when they are outside.
A 5-year action plan has been adopted for the implementation of the policy.
So that'll be it for the news for the morning. If you want to get interactive, please make sure that for our WhatsApp page or our WhatsApp number, you are greatly in touch with us through the very number 0560 800,000, and we have a couple of them here. This one is from
Faisal in Barry. First of all, we thank you for the feedback, but Faisal also says, Roland Mamavi, well done. You always make my morning. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. This one says, good morning, Mama V and Roland Marold. Charlie, that's like our name, you know. What is government saying about teachers' salary arrears?
We have to
others?
trademark it too.
Okay, that's from MJ in Salaga. It's more like you're warning some people. Mama V and Roland, I learned you people are Evers, and from where? And that's from Frank Fianyo Vobom in Qatar.
I come from Amfuega.
Okay, I'm from Angloga, which is like in your district, man. It's more like Qatar. All those places. Yeah. Okay, so any updates, Professor Kwam's natural science textbook? Yeah, we are paying attention to that subject right here on the show. That's on my banner later this morning. You don't want to miss it. This was a good morning, Roland. I always have to watch you both before my day become fulfilled. That's from Scholastic in Tiobodom. Life can't follow the same pattern every day, but we must learn many dimensions to make our everyday life meaningful.
I love that.
Yeah, good inspiration, Scholastic.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so thanks for those messages. This is what you need to do. Please make sure that you send a lot more of them. But right now we have to look at what the stories are on the various news portals. We'll be displaying them on a screen here. But also, as we get to review some of those stories on the front and back pages of the newspapers, please do send us a lot more messages on what you think about some of them. Some of them you've already heard in detail, I think we'll be very much grateful for that.
Stay with us. We'll be back with a lot more right here on the show.